There we go. We're getting the timing back. Sorry about the delays. But we're getting the time with the music back, so that's something. Vigilante Williamson here on the 65th episode of my show, the Vigilante Williamson Show. It is Friday, October 15th, and I hope everyone's having a good Friday. Hope everyone's having, well, not Good Friday, like a holiday. Hope everyone's having a cool holiday, or a cool Friday. Cool day. Appreciate anyone joining me live on the playback or in the clips, because we're finally starting to get some clips out. The plan, the hope, the idea is to basically have content of some sort, whether it's streams or clips out every day, including the weekend. And speaking of which, the Wait Down is helping with that. So shout out to the Wait Down. Apparently, hit me up on Twitter, and I will check that later. Even I just tweeted this out. Sorry for the delays. Technical issues along with like sleeping issues delayed this program. So I apologize to anyone who's waited. Oof, long delay. I really apologize. I'm really gonna have to figure out what time I want to start this show and commit to it. It is rough with my current schedule. My current job is taking a lot of time out of me. But hey, what do you do? What do you do? So thank you, Wait Down, for hitting me up. I will check that out. It's probably related to the clip. So we posted one earlier with Berserker talking about that from an earlier show this week. I think it was Monday's show. Please check out, if you've missed any shows this week, because we've streamed every day on this channel except Wednesday, which the Culture Crime Fires was on Match Channel this week. But if you miss any show, please check the channel. We know YouTube is not good at giving notifications in general, let alone for channels like mine. Not just small channels, but channels that have a tendency to say things that are against narrative. They're just not going to push me. So I really appreciate anyone who does share my streams or who likes, subs, anything, even listens, just listens. That's really appreciated. So let's see who we have in the chat. See, like there was first off, One Rough Girl. Did you do your first stream from shout out to Way Down saying smash the like button? You guys were talking beforehand. Yeah. Watch your first live. I will check your first live. Way Down already checked it out. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So he's teaching you about StreamYard. Okay, so you guys that's cool. That's cool to see people helping each other. You guys are trying to reach out to help each other. So I'll check out your first stream, One Rough Girl. Pretty cool. Welcome to the club. You know what got the drop? For One Rough Girl doing her first stream.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah, welcome. You're now a YouTuber. Officially, One Rough Girl. It's official now. You're a streamer. You're a live streamer. Hell sent you dildo. Glacial gliders and sun people. I literally just heard, I can't even think of the creator, but I just found this guy like this week. So I don't know if sent you dildos in my fucking like history. I forgot the guy's name, but yeah, he says glacial gliders and sun people. That was mind blowing. All the different words people come up for different racers. But hell, sent you dildo nonetheless. Buzz. And Pope Chewbacca Cabras the fourth. Everyone like my Halloween costume for October. Is that Wookiee or is this a different person? Either way, thank you for being here, Pope Chewbacca Cabras the fourth. Shout out to the Stream Elements bot. I know that's Ascension Dildo's favorite. He's down with the Pope. Hell Off Thinker on Twitch. Appreciate you on Twitch. Let's see who's on D Live. I need to check D Live more because there's people supporting me. I know my man Board Doom has been he's been saying interesting stuff on D Live. Not sure if anyone's joining me there, but I appreciate it if you do, again, live or playback. Thank you. Anywhere you're joining me, anywhere you're watching this. I need to get this on Spotify and all the different podcast platforms. The Culture Crime Fires already is. I need to get this show, but I don't know what I'm gonna do about the damn back episodes. So we're getting a lot of love for Pope Chicabras. Is it AK? Yeah, I think it is AK. I think it is the guy. But again, I only just found out about his existence, so I don't know him that well. And I kind of was like, I don't really. It's not my thing. Oh, you did your second live, so you're already, well into it. You're already in your YouTube career. You're already established. So it is, I guess, Wookiee, and it's a Halloween costume. But I appreciate you here, nonetheless. And hell, Newbound Turk. Everyone's saying hey. So congrats to one rough girl who now has 2 live streams, not just one. So she's just chugging along as her YouTube career starts. Please give her a sub if you haven't already. I would appreciate that. Always in the chat. You got a buzz from Central Dildo. All right, all the pleasantries out the way. There's quite a bit to talk about. I named this "No Time to Me Too" because we gotta talk about this "No Time to Die" thing. So, like, I did cover yesterday the fucking the numbers. It did okay-ish. It's weird that we're in a world with 55 million is okay-ish at the box office, but we are. You know what I mean? The standard for box office, along with inflation, has gone up so much higher that even in a pandemic, you need quite a bit more than that, especially for a movie that apparently needs 900 million to break even. I can't imagine they thought they were going to break even from this movie after the budget and the fees and everything, because it was made 2 or 3 years ago, and there's interest on the money lent. That's how that jumped up. Plus, there were reshoots because I didn't see the movie, didn't see No Time to Die, but apparently they did try to at least there was still a feminist agenda, still a woke agenda, but they didn't want to go too hard in that element. And it's funny I use the term hard, right? Because star of that movie, Daniel Craig, says he goes to gay bars in order to avoid the aggressive dick swinging in hetero bars. Now, what is this, man? What is this? What is this? Like, what is this? What is this take? What is this take on a million levels? Now, I will actually have to go back to Vigilante Williamson. Now, I don't know if there was anything about Daniel Craig's sexuality. I'm not judging him on his sexuality. But Vigilante Williamson is somebody who's like the James Bond franchise, never liked Daniel Craig, under the assumption that he himself was gay. Like, how can you make James Bond gay? It doesn't make sense. I'm like, I don't know if he's gay. I'm not sure. And I'm not saying that he is just because he goes to gay bars to avoid the dick swinging in hetero bars. But what I am saying is this. James Bond, at the end of the day, is a masculine icon. Now, Daniel Craig is not James Bond. We saw 4 or 5 movies to prove us that. He's definitely not James Bond. But, like, what are you saying when you're saying, hey, the bars where anyone can go to, well, I guess anyone can go to a gay bar, but the bars that are allowed, to advertise to anyone have too much masculinity for me. So I have to go to gay bars. 1, you're disparaging gay bars because no one said that someone's gay, they're less masculine. And 2, you're disparaging yourself. You're saying that the aggressive dick swinging in an average sports bar is too much for James Bond. Again, 5 movies or whatever it's been, we can see Daniel Craig is definitely not James Bond. But what is this take? Now, we know this is virtue signaling, right? This is somebody, this happens. We saw this a couple weeks ago with the Venom director. They get into an interview, and the interviewer, like, somehow they just want to impress whoever's interviewing them, whatever publication, and they just have to say the most progressive sounding thing they can think of. This is an embarrassment. And here's another thing. I'm not even a bar guy. So I don't even know, like, what he's, because I mean, the bars I go to, I'm not a like club bar guy. I'm like a sports bar place with wings type guy. And like how aggressively dick swinging in those type of bars go. I don't know what it's like over in Britain. I don't know if he's talking about the soccer hooligans. I don't know what he's talking about. Central Dildo says it's a long-winded way to say he likes in the back door. If he does, then let him. Why can't he just like listen? There's nothing. This is a free country. Well, it's not a free country anymore, and neither is Britain. But there's no disparagement if that's what you are. Just say that. But like to essentially disparage all heterosexual men, as the guy who used to play James Bond. Thank God. Thank God his run is over. But yeah, Pope Chupacabra, it's going to be hard to not call you Wookiee. But this is nothing but gay, good, straight, bad propaganda. Why? He's pegging progressive. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's not necessary, bro. That's not necessary. What is he even talking about? What is he talking about? Surely he doesn't mean literal. He doesn't mean in heterosexual bars, there's a drunk guy going Ric Flair spinning his dick around, which apparently happened on a plane. That's another can of worms for another day. If you guys didn't hear about that. And it apparently happened other places too. But that's neither here nor there. But it's not like people are literally swinging their dick around. And like again, I don't see a lot of like, I don't know what bars he goes to. I don't see, and I'm not a go out all the time guy, but it's just again like wing sports type bars, not really for the cool, trendy bars that attract necessarily young people, but chill sports bars. That's the type of environment I like. I'm not sure if he's going to raves. I don't know where he's going. I don't know where this guy's going, where he's getting so much aggression from heterosexual men. From men, he's getting the aggression from men that he has to say, you know what? I got to go to a gay bar. There's too much aggressive dick swinging heterosexuality for me. Like, how can that be? Now, obviously, Wookiee is again right. Oh, I can call you Wookiee. It's just a costume. Okay, cool. Hellfish Chozo, I appreciate you being here. I'm an ally. Why can't you just say, you know what? Daniel Craig why can't Daniel Craig just say that he prefers being in gay bars for whatever reason? Like, I just likes the environment. Why does why can't he just say, oh yeah, they're cool places to hang out. I like being there. Why does he have to disparage hetero bars? It's a hetero bar. It sounds like a rapper or something. But like, why does he have to disparage? What is this need with any of this progressive stuff to find a group to disparage in order to big up or salute or be an ally to another group? Why is that the case? Why? What is the point? And hell, David Serta, appreciate you being here. It's been a while. I feel like you've been here before. Hell, Captain Trek, it's been a long while. One of the very first channels I was ever on outside of this channel, and I don't even know if he remembers that was the case, was Captain Trex. So shout out to Captain Trek. I appreciate you being here. It's been a while for you and David Serta. So thank you both. I know you're just stopping by to say hi. Hopefully, even if you can't watch the whole show, you can watch the playback. And Hail Sherry, appreciate you being here. You know what, since you did though, I would take that bet. I guarantee you he's been to a gay bar. I can guarantee you he's probably been to a gay bar because, like I said, Mom Vigilante Williamson always has her gaydar for him. See, I was like, I don't think he's gay. That's what she said. So I don't know. And then Fish Chozo, I was thinking this too. I'm like, isn't there more actual dick swinging in some of these gay bars? But you're right, Pope Chupacabras the fourth, aka Wookiee Lies Matter. You should check out his channel as well. Or no, it's Wookiee Supremacy. All these name changes, worse than Puffy. But you're right, it isn't real. It's just propaganda. That's why. That's why you can't just say, you know what? That's just my vibe. He can't just say shout out to APM, who could just be a gay bloke. He can't just be a gay bloke who likes gay bars and just say, yeah, that's just my thing. He can't. That's the aggressive dick swinging, toxic masculinity. It sounds like one of those things that I hate constantly saying leftist because I hate feeding into the left v right agenda, but it sounds like something someone says who has an agenda, but they don't really know what they're talking about. Like we talk about on the Culture Crime Fires, grape culture, things like that, and they say, "Oh yeah, men just talk about grape all the time." It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You hang out around men, but there are like crazy academics who think that. It sounds like maybe that's a better phrase to say. It sounds like something a take that exists in academia without any real world experience or real world statistics or real world even anecdotes to back it up. That's what this take sounds like. I let's see if I can get into the quote. I'm not gonna get to the whole article because we've been really good about not having time for all the articles that we want to cover. So I don't want that situation. But this is he was speaking with Paul Restaurant Group executive Bruce Bozzi in the latest episode of Lunch with Bruce. He discussed that he's been going to gay bars for as long as he can remember. One of the reasons he prefers gay bars because he does not get into fights in gay bars that often, which he attributes to the lack of dick swinging aggression in hetero bars. But like, I'm not like, how do you? Oh my goodness! But like, you can just go to bars and not get into fights. Stop. Like, what are you doing to get into fights every time you go into a non-gay bar? He says I got sick of it as a kid. And again, I don't know. I'm not a bar guy. I'll be honest. Like I said, outside sports bars, you're not going to really find me in a bar. And I'm not even big for sports bars, but at least you have a chance of finding me there. So I'm not sure. I know, I'm not sure how the blokes were in Britain when he was younger. Maybe those bars were rough. I don't know. But he says, I got sick of it as a kid because it was like, I don't want to end up in a punch. And I did. It would happen quite a lot. And the gay bar would just be a good place to go. Everyone was chill. You don't really have to state. You don't have to sort of state your sexuality. It was okay and it was a safe place to be. So what do you listen? If you're gay, just say you're gay. It's okay to be gay, bro. Just be gay. Like, what are you saying here, man? He clarified, and I could meet girls there because a lot of girls going for the same reason I was there. Meeting women was kind of an ulterior motive for his visits to gay bars. During the same appearance, Craig opened up in 2210 evening where he was caught kissing another man, the openly gay Bozzi himself, in fact, at a California bar. So he's a gay guy. So Mom Vigilante Williamson's gaydar was right. Bozzi recalled, he had a good time. The band was playing. Someone else asked me if I was your manager, and I yelled at him because, like, what do you mean his manager? So did they kiss each other? Is this just him talking with his boyfriend? What is going on? Or some guy he dated? What is this? Because he said Bozzi isn't that the same guy? Yeah, they kiss each other. He says, for me, the situations and honoring is we got caught, I suppose, which is weird because we were doing nothing wrong. Bro, you know what else this sounds like reading this? This sounds like a guy, again, Mount Vigilante Williamson's gaydar was on point, but it sounds like a guy who needs to just embrace and accept himself for who he is. A lot of times, a lot of these people, regardless of what group it is in this crazy woke world, are trying to project their own insecurities with themselves, whether it's on a racial line, gender line, sexuality line. Hey, Daniel Craig, it's okay to be a gay bloke. It's okay to be gay. Stop. You don't have to shame heterosexuality to be gay. If you like gay bars, you like kissing men, that's fine. You didn't like playing James Bond. Something you admitted. You'd rather die. You'd rather killed yourself than play James Bond. And quite frankly, it showed. It showed. They said that a couple movies ago. It was not this past one, but I remember he said something like golly, what was it? Rather slit my wrist, or it was whichever movie before this one was. I think it was Spectre. He said it was so terrible. He rather slit his wrist. Something stupid like that. Gay Bar is a cool song though. Is there a song called Gay Bar? Yeah, as Pope Chupacabras, you're not a mod here. And Captain Trek does remember. He remembers. And he is still here. And I appreciate it. And Noble Iro. So you're the Twitch. You're the one on Twitch. I was wondering who I Thinker was. Appreciate you being here, Noble Iro. Thank you. Thank you. Or as All Thinker, if that's you. So everyone with their alternate things. Let's see what else we got. Take a dude's bar seat when they go to the bathroom. You might be fighting. Yeah, I guess stuff like that. There are little things that you're not supposed to do to be respectful. Even Sherry says he does have that look about him, even though he's married to Rachel Wise. Yeah, I thought, well, he's married, Vigilante Williamson called it. I was like, he's not gay. Come on. Called him. Yeah, that's gay. I got the drop. I forgot about the drop.
Ha! Gay!
It's okay to be gay, man. It's okay for you to be gay, bro. I kind of go back to my yelling at parked cars days, where both not only Comics Division himself, shout out to the Dix Division, but the Authenticator will often say like what was it? I kind of lost it. Not just that they project their insecurities on the people. You know what I mean? This individual who can't just accept himself, he has to project that on us. But it was something else. It was something else they used to say. And it slipped out of my mind because I'm on stream. In any event, man, if you're gay, that's your business. There's no shame in it. Thank goodness you're not James Bond anymore. You had one hot movie at every whole career average, and that was lame. It's okay to be gay. You don't have to shame straight people just because you're enjoying your life. Enjoy your life. And yeah, he was always a shy Bond. Got a yep from Run Rough Girl. Got a hail to Parrot Head. Hail Parrot Head. It is hip to be gay. It's hip to be a square. It's raining men and I'm coming out. Says One Rough Girl. Got a lull from David Serta. Oh boy. We talked about the Hub video or the Hub favorite words the other day. So I don't get this. I don't know I don't get why he has to project his own insecurity. It's okay. No one's gonna swing their dick at you. Just kiss men, enjoy your bar, and enjoy your life not being Bond. You got Knives Out 2 and maybe 3. Just go away. Oh boy, cinch and dildo. But one thing that won't go away, and this is kind of the cover story, not this, is the fact that this feminist icon of a movie, There's No Time to Die, the director, Gary Fukunaga. You want to talk about some dick swinging? What about this? It looks like there's some MeToo accusations for him firing an actress after she refused to do a nude scene. So, I didn't really read into this story like that. I just kind of saw the headline like, ooh, I can't wait to talk about this. So we will find out together the exact details because this could be legitimate, man. If this is something where there was no agreement to do a nude scene and then you just change it to a nude scene, doesn't really look good for the director. Those things are always pretty cringy. If it's something where they already agreed beforehand and she knew what it was and she got cold feet, then it's like, well, I mean, what do you understand why you might want to let the actress go. Is it though? You talking about is it what? And all women are safe in gay bars, straight men on the other hand. Well, again, I don't know that I don't know Daniel Craig is straight. Micro penises can swing. Oh boy, can micro penises swing? These are the questions that no one needs to answer. I sent you dildo. So let's read through this. Let's find out what happened to Cary Fukunaga because this Me Too can be. It's very easy in these allegations to jump the gun. Either way. I think initially there was a lot of people jump the gun, just believe all women. Women are always right. And then, I think a lot of us, there became are they always right? Are people taking advantage of the situation? Is this legitimate? Are people just trying to cash in for clout? We know the actual organization, Me Too, just as corrupt as BLM. None of the money going towards any of the things they purport to be. Everything going towards trips. I've covered that previously multiple times. That how the funding of the actual MeToo Times Up organization was nothing but shit. But the actual situations and accusations themselves, they have to be taken individually with the details that you're provided with specific to that allegation, because some of them are going to be bullshit and some of them are going to be true. That's just the way it is. Man, isn't it crazy we live in such a world? I get what Wookie's saying in the comment. I don't want to highlight it, but it's I knowing what you're trying to say, because Jesus, I tend to agree with, like, if you didn't push your agenda on people, this would not be an issue. I'm a live and let live individual. So what if he fired her for not doing the scene? I think it depends on whether or not that scene was agreed to before she got hired. Because if and we're going to read through and hopefully those details are there. My thought is this: if it's some situation where she knew what the scene was, and it's like, hey, this when you get to this scene, it's a new scene, and they get on the set of the day, she gets cold feet. I have no remorse for her. If it's a situation where they're just doing the movie, there's nothing talked about beforehand, and he's like, hey, take your clothes off. It's like, hey, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? I get why she would be upset for getting fired for something she never agreed to before they got on set. So that to me is going to be the real detail, rather than not her nudity was agreed to in the casting process before the actual day of the shoot. Because if it was sprung on her day of the shoot, I kind of understand why she might have been upset. So let's read through. Let's figure this out. Let's parse through the details, and let's be objective. You can't just have preset biases, because he could have done something wrong. Again, ironic that you have somebody who has these clouds above them, because I'm sure whatever clouds, whatever happened well before No Time to Die, and then they're directing this feminist, what is Lashana Lynch tell James Bond something, stay in your lane or some shit. You gotta tell James Bond, who hates straight men, stay in your lane, but you can't. But you're sitting here forcing actresses to take their clothes off. So we'll see. So No Time to Die director Cary Fukunaga is currently facing a MeToo accusation after an actress, Radion Greer, accused him of firing over her refusal to take off her clothes for a scene in True Detective that was contractually not supposed to involve nudity. Okay, so if that's the case, this is a bit creepy. I gotta kind of agree with her, because if again, there's contracts, bro. You can't just tell people, if we agree to one thing and then you tell me to do something else after we didn't already agree to something. That's a problem. Regardless of the context, let alone with the sexual assault slant or the Me Too slant from this specific incident. As reported by the Daily Beast, Greer claims she was offered a small role in HBO series True Detective, but was abruptly fired when she refused to do a topless scene, which she asserts violated an alleged no nudity clause in her contract. Further, Greer says that Fukunaga treated her as a contrivance on the set of True Detective when she refused to strip naked, which led to her engage in a tense 10-minute standoff with the director, who she claims tried every bargaining tactic he could think to convince her to agree with the nudity. While this particular event, 8 years ago. Woo! I mean, again, if indeed you did not agree to the scene and were pressured the day of, I have a tendency to be on your side. 8 years is a long time to wait on it, and to wait until this guy has a James Bond movie out before you say something. It's pretty awkward timing. We'll at least say that. Greer only recently decided to openly accuse Fukunaga in response to an interview given by the director, in which he discussed how he attempted to steer James Bond in the post-Me Too era. So, ironically enough, his virtue signaling is the thing that triggered her. So, that's interesting. That's a hilarious thing. So, had he not virtue signaled, maybe she wouldn't be doing this. It was disheartening. It felt bad, Greer told the outlet. You can't just treat people like all you are as a pair of tits. I'm not going to say anything. She went on, and now Carrie's out here talking about his female characters like it's another slap in the face over and over. Yes, he had an illustrious career that was a star maker for him. And what happened to me? Nobody cares. I've had this story, and I've had more stories of things that happened to me in this industry over the years. The actress added, women in general, we all have these stories. When it comes to real people whose lives you're affecting in your work and the choices you make, there's no consequences. I have to push back on this. And I think this is in general issue with Hollywood. Your life in the entertainment industry has nothing to do with the average woman, because the entertainment industry is not average. It is not the same as the real world. So you cannot take your experiences, which I can imagine. They made my co-host a fucking table and they put him in a dress. I can imagine what you went through in Hollywood. Hollywood is a terrible place, but you cannot, even though Hollywood is trying to project their evil onto all the earth, you cannot take your experiences as a Hollywood actress and say, well, this is for all the women out there, because trust me, that is not the experience that most people have. Most people do not have to sacrifice a kid to Molech for a job. That's just the reality. So I don't know. You can't take your Hollywood experience and say, when it comes to real people who live, you're a real person, but it's not, women don't just have these stories everywhere. Maybe in Hollywood they do, because again, I've heard some crazy shit about the entertainment industry, but not the rest of the world. Daily Beast also goes on to attempt to reach Fukunaga's representatives. They've gone unanswered. HBO declined to comment on the story. Here's what's going on with this dress. Why does Lashana Lynch always stare like that? She just stares like she's looking directly in your soul with none of her own. It's very unnerving. The allegations against Fukunaga come not even a month after the woke director and the director made the outrageous claim. Did he actually say this? I didn't see this story. He says Sean Connery's James Bond is a rapist. Wow. What? He says in Thunderball Goldfinger, Sean Connery rapes a girl. Wow. She's like, no. He's like, yes. That wouldn't fly today. So he was talking. I didn't know he was talking shit about Sean Connery. See, these motherfuckers always, to go with the drop that I usually end these shows with. I gotta go with Blade, man.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
So you're the director of James Bond, a James Bond film, and all you could do is talk about how progressive you are, how the old James Bond, the classic James Bond, Sean Connery, he's a rapist. Meanwhile, you're sitting there screaming, trying to force actresses so you can see their titties. I don't know what happened. I don't know what Radion Greer was contractually obligated to do. She's saying they agreed to no nudity. He's like, show us your tits. 8 years is a long time, but ironically enough, she says his virtue signaling was saying, like, you know what? I'm going to have to air your ass out. Hollywood's a dirty place. I can imagine what happens to these women. I'm not somebody who Lord knows, I'm not somebody who airs to believe all women. And I don't know enough details to know what happened, but this doesn't sound unbelievable. This doesn't sound completely contrived. It doesn't sound made up. So we'll see. F&T starting now? Fuck! I got everything. I got everything competing against me. Jesus. Let's see what you guys were talking about. So what if you? Oh yeah, we already did that. You do swinging like a skin tag, hung like a nipple. Oh boy, Hell Basco scenario. Got held to the chat. There are multiple stages the actress has to go to before a news scene actually happens. There are entire coordinators who gets hired to handle those things. That's what I'm thinking. Wake down, like you can't just show us your tits. You can't change a contract mid-service, even though, like I said, 8 years is a long gap, and we'll get into that. Some of you guys, when I got to that point, were just like me, but he's the one who virtue signaled. It does depend on the contract. Yeah, Wookie said 8 years. Fuck you. 8 years. Yeah, no, sorry. 8 years is a long time to hold on to shit. Rough Girl just Just saying the tip. You can tip. I appreciate the tip. Just the tip, though. Thank you, Wealth Girl. You didn't have to advertise that. So, oh no, such a dildo. My lawyers will talk about this. Vig touched my butt inappropriately 32 years ago. I still have nightmares. I was like 2. So I don't know if that counts. And FNT starting now. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? Most women aren't abused by dominance in the average American workplace. Exactly. Yeah, Gary is just destroying all the competition, destroying the small channels. No. Shout out to Gary. Shout out to the erotic. Got it indeed. They're so virtuous, so stunning, so brave. Remember, I do need to check my Discord. Sorry, Wookie. Yeah, it's an early stream this week. Not me, but do. And thank you for parroting One Rough Girls, helping the streaming elements bot out. Appreciate it. Even if she was triggered from the virtual signaling, he's been virtual signaling over a year. I'm still on why now. Yeah, I have a tendency to agree with that. But I also have a tendency to think you get what you fucking deserve. You know what I mean? You want to sit there and virtue signal. You want to sit there and talk your shit. You want to say Sean Connery, his version of James Bond's a rapist. You better make sure your fucking clause is clean, man. And I like you wonder about the damn timing. It's awkward and convenient timing, but I can't get mad at, like, I still don't think that's right what he did. If it is as alleged, this is not right. Is it right to wait 8 years to say something? No. And I see everyone's leaving me for FNT. Don't leave me. Ah. Okay, I guess people have to watch the clips. I just saw the streaming numbers dip down. But if you're leaving for FNT, I appreciate you being here. I was not expecting such an early start. I guess I have to keep that on mind on Fridays. I thought I would be good to stream during this time. Oh, our thinker says screw FNT. He's a pro vigilante. So yeah, this story, I would like some more details to come out to verify whether or not her contract said that. Because again, you can't change shit mid-contract. And I also think it's right to question the timing. And Captain Trek's not leaving. In the middle of the road, he probably did some creepy shit. Yeah, he's pandering for clout with the timing. Yeah, he probably did some creepy shit. I'm sure he did some creepy shit. Because her handler told her not to stir up shit while they're filming Bond, don't want to piss off the studio. Maybe. But I mean, this will piss off the studio right as it releases. This could be an issue. I don't know how big of an issue. God, look at you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for sticking around. I appreciate that. I really do. Really do. Like if you haven't, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate it. We got other stuff to talk about. Very good point, Fish Chozo. A lot of those hoes were lying. I'm not saying all of them were, but a lot of them were. A lot of them were found out to be lying too. So that's a very good comp. What happened with Bill? I'm about to call him something, Billy something. I couldn't think of a like Bill Burrism, Billy Jello or something, Billy Jello pill. But no, like all the jokes about Bill Cosby aside, a lot of those women were not telling the truth. That's just the reality. And so there's something about convenient timing. So who knows? You be the judge. Don't let me tell you what to think in that last story, whether or not that it's legitimate of a claim. You think for yourself. I can see both sides. Sometimes there's no easy, oh, well, this person's right, the other person's wrong. Maybe some wrong on both sides. But all right. Lego. Did you guys see this? I saw this and said, what the fuck? Lego's announcing a new focus on ensuring their toys are free of gender bias and harmful stereotypes. You know something ironic about that phrase? In all this freedom for gender equality, they're actually creating more harmful stereotypes. We just dealt with the fact that apparently just straight men are dick swinging aggressive. You know what I mean? According to James Bond, that's masculine. And then we've talked about the pregnant people. Women aren't women anymore. They're pregnant people or people with vaginas. And we're male assigned at birth. We're female assigned at birth. We have to disparage the majority of the population because we don't want to be harmful to to people who have a different gender identity. I don't want to be harmful to people that have a different gender identity, despite what I talk about a lot on this channel. But I don't want to be harmful for people who have that's a good phrase to use that won't be offend. I don't think there is a good way to not offend snowflakes. But why do we have to have the most common gender identities? Why do people with those identities need to be disparaged in order to be an ally to or be positive towards people with different gender identities? Hopefully that made sense. I know I'm usually pretty edgelord when it comes to the coof stuff, but I can't. I'm not trying to be edgy for edgy's sake. I'm not trying to say things to shock people for shocking people's sake. And I mean, hey, if you have a different gender identity, you're welcome to. For now, it's a free country. But why do we have to have this pushed on us everywhere? Why does Lego have to have this pushed? Now, here's one thing I will say. Usually, I would make the excuse that they're doing this for the kids. And on some level, there is. Lego still is oriented towards kids to an extent, but Lego does have a huge adult fan base. So this is, when we were kids, it was much more, kid only. And they have like the Lego games that are kind of childlike, but Legos as a brand is definitely, like, some of these kits very expensive. They do seem kind of hell bent on destroying their business, don't they? Because they're expensive. They were kind of riding a high the past decade of being kind of this adult oriented niche brand that had their kits. They still had the generic Legos, but that was not like the major amount of their Legos. They were selling to collectors, to the most part. So they're not, as much as I want to say this is oriented towards kids, because some of their movies, some of their media is definitely kid oriented. Legos themselves are not a kid only product anymore. So I will at least, provide that sort of context. Otherwise, man, what are we doing here? What are we doing? So let's see what they have to say. We're not going to get through the whole article because we got a bunch of stuff. Plus, we're competing with FNT. Indoctrination does exist. That's the whole point of all of this. That's why it's coming at you from all angles. That's why it's coming at you from the school system, the kids' TV shows, kids' toys, and this is a part of it. This is definitely a part of it, but this is as much of a virtue signal of a adult-oriented product as anything. It's as much for the Tumblr bots as it is the kids. But don't give me, you're right. There's definitely some indoctrination. Good ESG rating. ESG? Question mark? Offhand, I don't know what that is. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Their toys have been gender neutral for years. Toys, the original Lego figs did not have hair. They just had the little Lego piece. And so they had no gender. Rough Girl says, fabulous to see you. Fabulous to see you as well. Cosby did seem like a creep, though, constantly telling kids to pull their pants up and shit. I can't help but to wonder if some of the hate towards Cosby wasn't like similar to hate towards the Larry Elder. I mean, obviously, he, I'm not saying he was scrupulous with all the women, but like he was a guy who before it was cool would tell black people to be more accountable. He had, he did have a scholarship program. I want to say through Temple. And he made everyone wear a suit. So he was kind of like in that thing. He should have, kept pills out of bitches' drinks. But I do remember him, stops the sagging and all that other stuff. Sometimes, especially these days, everyone's wrong. That's a good way to think about it. Sometimes it is the case when everyone's wrong. Absolutely. Normalizing the abnormal is the goal. They definitely want, if you have a kid who's still impressionable, they want them to think that everyone's default bisexual, so to speak. Like that's the real thing. Like you default to being not straight. They really are trying to push it on your kids to that extent. They don't want your kids to choose for themselves. They want to make the choice for them in terms of their sexuality and sexual identity. So let's get into this again. Launched on October 10th. The UN. Fuck the United Nations. The International Day of the Girl. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, boy. Sorry about that. Hold on. Cinch and Dildo. To answer your question, no, I don't believe his scholarship was women oriented. It was towards it was for young black men, if I remember. Young black men, if I remember. And Cosby, he liked the white girl. He didn't like black girls. Didn't seem like it. Most of the people he was accused of were white. In any event, Jesus, they aim to help girls rebuild the story. What does that mean? And welcome more girls to Lego building, ensuring they're not losing out on the benefits of Lego due to the societal expectations. Lego, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, listen, if you're talking about something that's He-Man or something that was like, because as a kid, there are toys. I remember there were toys marketed towards girls. There's Barbie and dolls and shit. There's action figures marketed towards boys. And then there's like baseball, toy baseball, basketball and shit. Things like that. And then there's Legos, which were towards both. Because for the most part, as a kid, the figures didn't really come into play. It was just the different blocks. So they were never, ever, ever in my life. And my grandma had a daycare. This girl-only, this boy-only toy, girl-exclusionary toy. Legos were not that. This is pure bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. They're pushing back against the perception that their products are a good example of an inclusive toy brand. According to research study commissioned by them in partnership with the Gina Davis Institute. Jesus Christ. The Gina Davis Institute. If you don't remember that, there was a previous episode of Cultural Crime Fighters, and we covered, she has this like intelligence quotient by how woke things are. I believe it was actually towards women, by how women-oriented things are. Lego is still considered more relevant with boys than girls. 59% who say they encourage their sons to build with Legos, as opposed to 48% who say they encourage it with their daughters. Either way, we're talking about nearly a 50% clip of kids playing Legos. And because there's a small gap of percentage of parents who play it with their daughters, maybe it's their daughter's own opinion. Maybe women just happen to be slightly less interested in Lego. Again, still a high clip, still half, which sounds about right. It came pronounced when they were asked to complete an implicit bias assessment. 76 will recommend Lego to a son as opposed to a daughter. What is this? What is happening? What is happening? What is this? The company's committed to making Lego more play inclusive and ensuring the gender's creative ambitions, both now and in the future, are not limited by gender stereotypes. We know there is work to do, which is why in 2021, we will work closely with the Gina Institute on Gender and Media and UNICEF to ensure Lego products are marketing accessible and free of all gender bias and harmful stereotypes. Jesus H. Christ. I was just thinking about getting back into Legos. I have a bag full of Legos, a previous set that I wanted to rebuild and get the plans out, rebuild them, and get back into other kits. Fuck Lego, man. What is this shit? I'm not going to read more of this corporate shill bullshit. This propaganda shit is going too far. Shout out to the one I referenced in the advertisement above. This is, they're looking for this shit. They're going out of their way to create a statistical situation where they can say there's some sort of bias. And this virtue signaling shit has gone too far, man. It's gone too far. It's so societally engineered. It's always academics, because even the Gina Davis has too. Yeah, she's a actress, but she's like some high IQ type, Mensa type person. She has her own institute. Do better, Lego. This is what it is. Thank you, One Rough Girl. This is what we covered. She actually developed a program that counts how many words and lines are spoken for women. That's what it is we covered. I like The Long Kiss Goodnight. I really like that movie, actually. Who is she to educate anyone Hollywood Shield. That's who she is. And that's what we covered. I forgot all about it. Thank you, One Rough Girl. I don't even think you were on the channel when we covered it. But you heard about it. Yeah, she had a program that discovers how many lines are spoken by women for equality. So, because of some weird assessment that they got, they said that more people will recommend this to their sons, to their daughters. They've done something wrong. They have to do something about bias. It's like, well, maybe girls just don't like Lego, and that's not the case. I don't think that's the case. I think most kids like Lego, or if they, I don't know if kids still play with Legos. I'll be honest. Again, Legos have become just as much adult oriented as anything, and that would have been almost more of a reason to market in this way. But this is just ridiculous, man. This virtual, 49%, 48% to 59%. What disparity? What the hell? Somebody women need a swift boot to the cooch. Gina Davis is one of them. Mega tarted. Fuck Gina Davis. Hashtag fuck Gina Davis. Hashtag leave Lego alone. Most of my Lego were hand-me-downs from my older sister. Just saying, Legos are so like I this as a kid. That's like Mr. Potato Head. I guess Mrs. Potato Head, Mr. Potato Head. But you just play. They were not. This was not a toy that you would say this is for boys and this is for girls. It was just a toy. Kids just like Lego. Now they're a little more adult oriented. But are you serious? Someone needs to make a version of Drake meeting just with the names Gina and Gina. Wait till the girls Lego start scissoring. Fuki scissoring. They got the scissors out. They're scissoring for equality. Watching from the bleachers while cleaning. Appreciate it. Yeah, scissors. Vig, you have to look at the ESG. Everything will be more clear. Yeah. What is ESG? I have seen this. Environmental social governance. Investors are applying these non-financial factors as a part of analysts to identify materials, risk, and growth opportunities. So basically, ESG, I have seen this. I looked into. I've seen it before. It's where investors are considering how woke you are before they invest in you. So that's dope. Legos has spent billions in market research over the years. Again, that's why they made themselves. That's why they made themselves more adult oriented. That's why they went to the kids and more towards you know what I mean, almost being a collectible. At 8 p.m. I hope about it. He said every single stream, all I'm watching now is talking about gay, making fun of gay. I'm anti SJW, anti woke as someone can be, but God, I'm getting a complex. People are so angry. You know what it is, 8 p.m. It's I understand why they are angry. It's just a touch to be gay and based. It's tough to be gay and based right now. I think a lot of people, for a lot of these groups, as a black man, I understand what you're talking about, man. Because what happens is you have somebody like we've talked about some of this podcast. Not sure if you how far you've joined us, and appreciate you being here. He's token gay guy. See, that's what I mean. I feel sometimes like the token black guy. And then there's sometimes where it's like, listen, I'm not woke, but I don't want to hear a racial. I just work such and such hours. I turn on the stream, just racial jokes. Like, for fuck's sake, bro. You know what I mean? Like, leave me alone. But what happens is all these fucking big brain agenda motherfuckers use different groups as weapons. And they'll just use gay people as a shield for something, or use black people or whatever group as a shield, Latinx, as a shield and as a weapon towards different groups. So then when people respond, they respond as if you did it, as if I'm a member of BLM, or as if you're the one pushing gay agenda to everything else. You're just a guy. I get how you feel. The mask of white supremacy. I get how you feel. I don't think you're alone and sometimes feeling like, come on, man. I get that there's a lot of agenda in the name of the group, but I'm not trying to hear this shit. I get it, bro. I definitely get that. And there's something to be said about that, because they are using every single group they can as a weapon, and part of it is divisive. So then when someone argues back, they do this thing. It's almost like instigating. So let's say they call women pregnant people. They say, oh, women are people with vaginas. And then people get angry at LGBTQ people. When really no LGBTQ people said this. Some big institute said it. Some what was it? Medical journals said it. Some media outlets said it. They're the ones who said it. But then that vitriol gets put towards the group that was used as a shield or used as a weapon in the process. So that's what that is. And I get it. And you have a right to feel like, why am I getting the brunt of this shit? And this is a part of the reason why so many groups, rather they're whatever group, rather they're based upon racial orientation, whatever, or people who are members of the group have a high tendency to be on the woke side, I think. Because I think that this is a weakness that I've even noticed. This is just for me. Hell, I don't know if I should say this. I'm not going to say this. But there was somebody in the chat, we had a conversation. Hey, do you think sometimes people say some shit that's off kilter? We'll just say that. And I said, yeah, sometimes I do think people say some shit that's off kilter. So APM, I absolutely I hope I haven't done that too much. I'm not innocent. I'm sure I have. But I understand what you're talking about, bro. I really do. The minorities are going to suffer for it. Watching Commons Gate is getting a bunch scary. I know you get it because we're on the quote unquote right side, but we're in the firing line of a couple directions. Absolutely. And sometimes I'm like, is this? Are you guys all right? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like you guys they end up so just as focused on these things as the leftists. So I get it. The beauty of it all is that to a degree, chaos is the point. Absolutely. No matter if you support it, rally against it, these things are doing exactly what they're supposed to. Absolutely. The point is division. I think most people don't have an issue with people being gay, but they do have an issue with the LGBTQ activist types. But that's my point. We're using those activist types as a representation for the entire group. You know what I mean? We're using these activist types. We're using these motherfuckers. Don't let Patrice Cullors, she doesn't represent me. And neither does the fucking Daniel Craig. He doesn't represent him. I don't know what's going on with Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig needs to just be okay with himself, man. And yeah, that too, dildo. No, you're having an honest fun. What you do with most people, I'm noticing the anger is going. I'm noticing it too. And it's not just with that group, but it is. Like I said, when you have medical journals and media organizations going off the wall disparaging women, even in their little abortion laws, remember, not only women get pregnant, guys, that type of shit is going to trigger people, but the vitriol should be with academia. The vitriol should be with these institutions, the oligarchy, the powers that be, who are the ones saying these things, but instead it gets directed at a group. And yeah, it absolutely is going to get fairly dangerous for them, especially minorities getting co-opted. And both ways getting co-opted. Sometimes I worry, like, I'm not trying to be anyone's beard. Oh, let's Vig. There's a subject including black people. What do you think, Vig? The fuck? No matter how promoted it is now, it's like forcing black is ending in a black attack. When you force it down people's throat, it ends up pissing them off. That's why we were talking about this Lego thing before we kind of got into it. Why is this getting pushed in Lego? Who knows, man? If it was that simple, the activists are after the children. Unfortunately, yeah. They said they're coming for your children. They're getting hardcore, man. Quite a few are showing hatred now. Hey, saying that because I despise woke as they do, but things are just going to get crazy. Yeah, listen, again, I've noticed it along race lines. Like, man, it's just race joke. And they're not even funny jokes. Just, all right, homie. All right, man. And I don't know if he's talking in real life or internet, but listen, all this internet stuff is coming and is becoming real. So it's no longer relevant, man. as far as this Lego story, because I do got to get back to the story, because as usual we're running late for real life. So yeah, this is sounds like a bunch of bullshit. Sounds like they're clicked up with the Gina Davis Institute, and it sounds like agenda, especially because Legos are more adult oriented than they've ever been, and more for adult collectors and people who build kits, even though they still have generic Lego. I've seen them in Walmart, like the generic Lego kits where you can buy. Because for the longest time, you could only buy, at least that I could see, you could only buy pre-made kits. You couldn't just buy a bunch of Legos and make your own stuff. So Legos sucks. That sucks. It sucks that everything is just free of gender stereotypes to create more stereotypes. All right. Speaking of transgender, I haven't really covered this Dave Chappelle thing. We got a couple stories about that. Then some funny stories. I did not have a meme of the day. Fuck. Oh well. I'm sorry. We'll talk about this. I still have not seen this special, The Closer. I'm not sure what is so offensive that is causing so much uproar. I apologize if I don't have every detail on every element that's happening in this story, but it's been a fairly big story about the I covered the Dear White People exec. It was a transgender individual. I was offended that but they also were a Caucasian individual, and I was offended that they are the showrunner of a show that teaches, Black people to be enraged at the man. And it's like, why is some white liberal telling Black people how to think about themselves and how they should think as far as race relations? Why is that okay? By your own standard. We got all sorts of stuff jumping up. Hopefully there was no doxing information. I don't think it is. I think it may just show where I was. I don't think it showed my name. Actually, real quick, let me just make sure that little pop-up doesn't show my name. Nope, just shows so I mean, I don't know. You would have to be it doesn't show anything. David Serta, we covered that yesterday. The Loudoun County, Virginia schools locker room. I covered it yesterday. Look at yesterday's episode. We talked. Fitz Chozo was here. We talked about it. And that's sad because basically, if you guys weren't here, there's a rule in that school system about the bathrooms that if you can go in your identified gender bathroom, whatever gender you identify as, and a sick motherfucker used that to take advantage of it and assault a sick child, because they were all school age, but a sick motherfucker, 15 or whatever old he is, put on a skirt, went into the women's bathroom and assaulted a girl. Not once, but twice. If you really cared, you would say, hey, this person isn't themselves transgender. They just use this as a method of abuse. Let's just, prosecute this individual and go about it. That's not what the school system did. They tried to cover it up. So much so that the father of the victim themselves was arrested, and they were accused of being a bigot because they were trying to look into what was going on. So that's the long and short. We covered it all yesterday. It was basically the major story. So please check out, I think episode 64 of the Vigilante Williamson show. We talk about that subject, David Serta. So we absolutely did cover that. Had to online brothers because I'm feeling uneasy with the hate. Listen, man, APM, if you're wondering, are you seeing ghosts? I don't think you are. Let's get into this story. So one problem I have with guys like Chappelle say Twitter's not a real place. Perhaps, but it can have real impact on your life and livelihood is real enough to take seriously. I don't take Twitter serious, but I do at the same time because I recognize I don't take it seriously as a method of gauging how people think, but it is serious as a weapon, as a method of attacking people. So Dave Chappelle was called transphobic because of the closer. Again, the lady from Dear White People, a show about Black people and Black rage in the Ivy League. That's show ran by a white person. They were upset. They were offended by Dave Chappelle's statements, and they tried to cancel. And now it looks like they suspended 3 employees for crashing a meeting of his top executives. Whoa, to protest the closer. Wow. Transgender super senior software editor Tara Field was reportedly one of the employees who was suspended for a team attending the streaming giant's quarterly business review. Prior to crashing the QBR, so basically, they crashed an executive meeting at Netflix to protest, and they said, "Get the fuck out of here." I'm not somebody who's going to forget that Netflix came up with cuties and just say, "Oh, Netflix is doing the right." Fuck Netflix. Fuck you, Netflix. As an organization, I don't know that I'm not a pro censorship Dave Chappelle, but I'm not too opposed to a shitty organization eating itself either. I'll be honest. I'll fan the flames a little bit on both sides. Fuck Netflix. They're just as evil as Disney and all these other corporations. Let's say we launched another Chappelle special where he attacks the trans community, a very validity of transness, all while trying to pit us against other marginalized groups. You're going to hear a lot of talk about offense. We are not offended. Okay, then what are you? What we object is the harm that content like this does to the trans community, especially trans people of color, very specifically trans Black women. People who look like me aren't being killed. I'm a white woman. I get to worry about Starbucks writing terror on my drink. Do Black people not get Starbucks? Is Starbucks white only? Jesus Christ. Jesus. It's absolutely untrue to say we suspended any employees for tweeting about our show. This is different statements. So they really were suspended. This is really what. So they're organizing a walkout, but it starts off from the suspension. I'm trying to get what's really happening, because a part of me again kind of wants to see Netflix, an evil company, eat itself. I don't want to see censorship. I hope they don't take the damn thing down. But I'm not. So regardless of what side I'm on, Netflix is not beyond reproach. Netflix themselves is a company that chooses to push division. They choose to separate. They choose to encourage the cuties, because they can only say so much on this platform. They choose to encourage that shit. So if they get a little heat and they have some internal issues and they have a walkout, part of me says, good, fuck you, Netflix, you're evil. That's really, again, not a censorship guy. I don't want Chappelle to be censored. But I don't mind that they're pushing out, that they're having some issues. So people were suspended. I'm trying to see where the walkout. Here we go. This is who the walkout is being talked about. Verge is now reporting the Transgender Employee Resources Group is planning a walkout to protest Dave Chappelle's comedy special. And Netflix CEO statement in regards to the comedian's recently released stand-up show. Trans lives matter. Oh boy. Trans rights matter. Trans rights. What are trans rights? Is the right to censor, shout out to Stevie Richard, is that a trans right? Because I don't think it should be. I don't. If you're saying that you have a right to censor people's language, I don't agree with that. Now, hey, we were just talking about not necessarily wanting to hear everything. You know, I can understand if you're a trans individual, you say, "Man, this shit, fuck Dave Chappelle." You got the right to say that. I didn't see the statement, or see the special to know what he said, but you got the right to feel that way if you feel that way. But I don't necessarily think he should be. His content needs to be destroyed. So it's plus his comedy. We gotta laugh at stuff. It's okay to laugh at shit, man. Netflix has continually failed to show deep care in our mission to entertain the world by repeatedly releasing content that harms the trans community, continuing failing to create the content that represents and uplifts trans content. Create content that represents and uplifts trans content. I don't know what that means. We must and can do better. Read internal organizing message written by the ERG leader. What is with this need for upliftment and representation, man? I think these have become buzzwords where people say they want them, but like, why do you? I don't want to be uplifted or represented by any major corporation. I don't value corporations like that. I'm not a brand worshiper like that to want Netflix to uplift and represent me. Fuck you. But hey, different folks, different strokes for different folks. So they've been discussing through Slack, text, email, everything in between. Leadership has shown us they do not uphold the values which are held. Between the numerous emails, not answers that have been given, we've been told explicitly somehow we can't understand the nuance of certain content. Netflix's company-wide walkout will be taken for Wednesday, the 20th of October. So the employees of Netflix had no interest in walking out over cuties. There was no backlash internally over a show that showed a movie that showed incredibly young women in a sexual way. But there is backlash over Dave Chappelle. All right, Netflix staff. Chappelle's The Closer is heavily criticized by GLAAD, who claimed the comedy's brand has become synonymous with ridiculing trans people in marginalized communities. And then, of course, this is just going through the details. Jacqueline Moore was this showrunner I was talking about. Again, she could tell black people to be angry at white people. But I don't know what the jokes are. Maybe the jokes are truly offensive. I don't know. I don't want to see Dave Chappelle canceled. I think this is an interesting backlash, but also I have no remorse for Netflix as a thing. We have another story related to this thing, where a Star Trek Discovery actor, Wilson Cruz, claims Dave Chappelle's comedy special is responsible for violence. That seems a bit strong. And we'll get into that. I've seen stuff that when you say something anti-trans, for some reason they say it's responsible for the violence. And I'm like, that seems like a step too far. Let's see what you guys have said so far, and then we'll get into this. I noticed the race stuff too. It all gets tiresome. When it's 40 times a string anyway, got some tough times coming. We'll keep our heads on and move forward. Hell to all here. I appreciate that. To Appam or APM. Dave's stand-up actually tells a really touching story about a trans friend of his. The entire special was funny and honest, but he knew he'd get canceled. He said it when he started the show. I see. Yeah, he talking about I covered the unfortunate thing in the Loudoun County schools. Yep, we already did it. Chappelle's fucking awesome. We need people like him desperately. Yeah, thanks to everyone in that for being here, and our host. Thanks. Yeah, I do thank you. Thank you, One Rough Girl. You're going crazy with the mod thing, and you guys are going off in the chat. Oh, no worries, man. Oh, you live close there. Yeah, and yeah, the Loudoun thing. It was a 14-year-old girl, I believe a 15-year-old to sell it, and he apparently did that to another individual very recently. The first time was in May, if I remember correctly. Last time was last week. And yeah, we will have clips of that stream this weekend. Even that clip, which apparently I've heard other content creators have been censored. Apparently Krigler and Crowder had some issues when they talked about it, but we will still put that up. And this is what the NC law was about. And they made a big deal about it. But it's not, to me, the issue is not that we think transgender individuals cannot take care of them, are crazy and are going to assault women. That's not the thing. The issue is that individuals who are crazy, who are fucked up, will use this as an excuse to do so. That is the true issue. And that nuance got totally lost from the conversation. Totally lost. And if that nuance was there, I think at least people would have understood it and not looked at it as, oh, this is bigoted. And maybe, whatever. Even though I thought this is a stupid law because it can't be enforced. There's no bathroom monitors, so you can't enforce it. But especially you talk about adults and bars and stuff, and I'm in NC, and I think a Rough Girl is. A lot of the hipster bars, they just have genderless bathrooms. Yeah, blood boiling stuff. Jesus Christ. It's wild in the UK. An Islamist killed a conservative MP in a UK church. That's insane. Man, this feels like the last days, man. This feels like the last days. That's wild. That's wild. You're not alone. I'm feeling to ask for an auditory assistance. You're not wrong, man. Buy more ammo, practice your aim. All right. Wait down to get back to work. Thank you. Wait down. I will check your Twitter. And golly, yeah, the nasty woman actually cared about the dangers of child sexualization. She'd have made Cuties a cartoon. She would have made Cuties a documentary. She would have done a lot of stuff that encouraged 600. Remember, and this was widely misreported. It was reported that over 600 girls were needed in a casting for that movie. That's not true. That was 600 girls for the casting of one main character. We have no idea how many little girls were God, I'm trying to think of a good word, but we have no idea how many little girls in total were in that casting. That we just know for the main character there was over 600 girls, and there were a couple different nationalities. So only God knows how many girls in total were in that casting call for that movie. It's really disturbing. Guess we don't live well. Oh yeah, smash the like button. We do live well. We try to live well. All this crap is authoritarians using wokeness to destroy liberalism. They promote an egalitarian utopia, but really want a neo-feudalist corporate hell, and that is where we're headed. That is where we're headed. And I don't blame you, says APM to Rough Girl. He says it's going to be hard to navigate the next few years and do what we can to show we're on the right side. Oh man. Lots of hurt feelings incoming, but as a Queen Janet said, that's the way love goes. I'm sorry. That's the shit. Don't remember a Starbucks near the trailer park. Yeah. You know, I've talked about this. When I lived in Michigan, I had never seen like the white people that everyone enables, like everyone thinks white people are. I saw like 8 Mile. Like I saw like the white people Eminem grew up. You know what I mean? And then I moved to I'm in the Charlotte area. That's when I started seeing the like really bougie Starbucks drinking white people. I didn't see that until I was an adult. I didn't see the light until I was a man. And man, then it was blinding. But no, I didn't see that till I was a grown-ass man that you saw the like, oh, my dad made such and such money. I had college paid for. I had a car when I was 18 or 16, and I drink Starbucks, and I had Apple stuff. Standardized, stereotypical white person. They make you think all white people are. I didn't meet that person till I was a grown-ass man. Because like I said, I grew up, well, not gonna say not too far from Eminem, because it was actually well far away from him. But those are the type of motherfuckers I grew up around. Are you on the gram on Twitter? I'm not sure. I'm not on the gram because I don't even like likes. See you guys talking about. Everyone understands we're all being oppressed by the weakest among us, right? Hopefully everyone understands that, but the point is order out of chaos. The point is division. The point is for everyone to attack everyone. That's why we got this story. Hey, Dave Chappelle's responsible for violence. Because if you have anything critical of transgender or LGBTQ, you're encouraging violence. This is his tweet. Is this how we're celebrating National Coming Out Day? We gotta stop making holidays out of nowhere. National this day, national this month, Men's Day, Women's Day. Shut up, stop. Celebrating the violence your content is responsible for, canceling your trans employee for speaking her truth and standing up for our community. So he's upset about this because of the Netflix suspending the trans employee. They didn't. You can't walk into a meeting just because, bro. And so we just covered that she was suspended for walking into a meeting. This is the same article. It's going through the same stuff. But okay, I'm not going to get through all retread the shit I just said, but I will at least retread the concept. And I'll ask you guys. I'm not someone to push my ideas on you. I want to know what you guys think. What is with the correlation that this is encouraging violence? Because I keep seeing that. So if you say something that is disparaging towards a certain group, can be perceived as disparaging towards a certain group, or in some cases just isn't overly flowery towards a group. To say I'm a woman, I'm a man can be considered transphobic, right? But why does that get correlated to violence? I don't know. Again, what Dave Chappelle said, Wait Now said it wasn't that bad. I would have to check. But why does that correlate to violence? So when you say we're being oppressed from the weakest among us, we're really being oppressed by the same group of motherfuckers that have been oppressing us for centuries, the same group of bankers and banking families who fund all this evil shit. And they've pushed it out into the ether to where they've gotten us to be so divided and so focused on majoring in minor things, majoring, and it's for a nefarious reason. They want us to self-censor. They want to destroy language, not just coerce you to say certain language, but to destroy it, because they can change the definition of something overnight, and everything is to make it divided. Like I said, that we're championing a group. We're championing black people, and then we'll burn down a bunch of buildings for championing black people. And then you have the perception, oh, all those black people burned down shit. When a lot of those fucking BLM groups, they weren't even all black. They weren't even mostly black, some of them. Some of the ones that did the most. And then look at all the violence in Portland, a mostly white city. It ain't always coming from the group that it's purported to be for. Look at how many allies are the ones doing the most pushing of whatever group that's purported. So it's deeper than just being oppressed for the weakest among us. It's not like actual trans LGBTQ individuals are the ones pushing it. It's the fucking academia, the higher up, the higher than us, I guess, the useful idiot class. They're the ones who push this. And then instead of you, when you're offended, instead of you directing that vitriol towards the actual motherfucker saying it, you direct it towards the group. Hence what we were talking about with APM. And, now it's like, well, shit, this shit is starting to actually kind of sound, anti-gay or anti-black. With all the shit that you're saying, it's starting to sound like you're almost making them their point for them. And your anti-woke points, because now it's starting to just seem like you're so focused on race or you're so focused on gender yourself. And that's how you get different groups fighting each other, different division. That's why I'm trying to stay away from the right versus left division. So it's deeper than just the quote unquote weakest among us. It's a coordinated effort to destabilize society. Long and short of it, I'll actually go here. It's really nothing to cover but this story. I'll just see what you guys think about the violence angle. But this is a long story, and apparently said this is outdated. They rehired them. It said something about that in the article that they were already rehired. Netflix will play The Roots soon before Christmas to show they're uplifting the black spirit. Yeah, to uplift the black spirit, you got to keep showing us as slaves. His whole show about his trans comedian friend who defended him and got abused for LGBT warriors. So much abuse she killed herself. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, that's fucking terrible. And they don't even tell you that. I've never seen that because I didn't see the show. So really, these people are making his point like you guys are going too hard. This guy was talking about violence, and I just got rid of the story, not realizing we've seen that. Remember the fucking Steven Universe, where the girl draws a different version of Steven Universe, and then she gets attacked to the point where she wants to off herself. The bounce back from all this is not caring about people's feelings at all. That's a crappy world too. Absolutely, that's a crappy world, and that's not going to help either. People making fun of trans since Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura. I wonder how that's Finkel's not Einhorn. Einhorn is not Finkel. Because it's funny. I'm not sure if that was a record. Funny is funny, man. If you make something funny, if you do something funny, it's funny. You can make jokes, as long as they're jokes. What's not a joke is APM tipping $13.36, which I'm assuming is about 10 quid. That's my assumption. See what you had to say. APM. I appreciate your super chat. Every little bit counts. Says some pennies for the fight. Great work so far, man. Keep it up, man. I have to leave in a second, but I appreciate the super chat. And I appreciate all you guys who stuck with me. We had some really cool conversations. We're obviously competing with FNT, and I got skedaddle in a second. See if I can catch up. Thank you. It's not the transgenders at all. It's the predators and trans clothing. Absolutely. That's the issue. Have fabulous weekend. Your chat commander, Vigilante Williamson. I appreciates it. Chat commander. I love that. Idea of a cuties cartoon makes me want to hit someone. I used to sell dope to these people. Oh boy. Let's see. Snobby MFs get real polite when they're fiending. Oh, you talk about selling dope to the snobby bougie white guys. National Give Me Your Wallet Day. Yeah, National Everything Day. National Fart Sniffer Day. Because left is violent and they want to use an excuse for that violence. Maybe. I'm sorry I'm rushing through your comments. Trying to shut down speech they don't like by any means necessary to control you. You're right. It's a fascist pressure on normal people, says Noble Iro, a.k.a. All Thinker. It's how Nazism started. Yeah, a lot of this does mirror Nazism. The dehumanization of your fellow man. And unfortunately, as we even talked about, sometimes the community, the fellowship can participate in that. The left, that's why I don't want to say leftist. They're not leftists, man. This has nothing to do with liberalism. This has everything to do with authoritarianism. Not to mention BLM is a funding operation for not just Antifa and Quifa, but the DNC themselves. It's mostly right liberals led by white women. That's just the truth. And there's a contagion of trenders. I'm sorry. And these are very true things. Very true things. That's what they're trying to do to the Spanish language. Why do they plan on changing all the A's and O's to X's? What's that going to sound like? Not beautiful like it does now. Yeah, and what does that mean when you're not Puerto Rican, you're Latinx? Because someone from Puerto Rico is totally different than someone from El Salvador, totally different from someone from Mexico. And now you don't even get that. You're just all Latinx. And can't we all just banter and get along? Can't we all just get along? My anti-woke auntie and auntie Mary Sue sometimes giving people the license to say what they always wanted to say in a racist way. Yeah. I do see that. Sometimes you do see this anti-woke stuff, and it's like you're saying some more ignorant shit. I've seen it for a while, and I am seeing more of it. It's definitely happening with gays too, stuck in the middle, know the right path, but our own side is giving us hell too. Yeah, I hate that. And yeah, Steven's Universe fan base is. I was talking about the Steven Universe situation where a girl she drew a fan fiction or drew a character differently. She drew them slim, and she was supposed to be fat, and the fan base just like really battered her, really harassed her. Good vibes. Please visit tonight on my live, please. Well, I actually have to host the MF for Cocktail Lounge. I have to guest host it tonight, so I don't know if I will be able to check it out. Let them catch up. No, you guys don't have to let me catch up. I mean, I'm already caught up now. He's changed his gram, so it's Andersander Pullen, and now you guys are following him. Or Andersander P. Mullen, I'm sorry. That's what APM stands for. Now we know. Okay, so we are in. Oh God, how do I always end these shows right before? Like they always go way longer than they should. I got to get better at this. It's like why I like the phrase "el queso es viejo y mojoso." See how good I am at the Spanish. Sounds beautiful, but all it means is the cheese is old and moldy. Then I'll go tomorrow. Oh no, you should go whenever. Don't let me stop you. All right, it's time to end on something positive or something funny. I'm not gonna get through this whole story. But we talked about trender. I'm not sure if this person's trending. I can't remember what their pronouns were. But Demi Lovato wanted attention. She has that kind of chubby, drugged out older look. And she believes that aliens is a derogatory term for anything. This is what happens when you've made identity into a clout chase and you've made being a champion for she just looks so spaced out. The MK Ultra program is so evil. But when you're just a champion for shit because it sounds good. So I guess what is she doing? Unidentified with Demi Lovato, where she's joined by a friend and their sister, and they search for the truth about UFO phenomena. And she says, I've been a believer my whole life too. Sure you have. And then I just thought, you know what? I'm in a position in my career where I'm dipping my toes into a lot of waters, aka my career is completely falling off, and I'm doing anything I can for attention. Yeah, I want to film everything. When everything goes down, sure, this is all contrived shit, I'm sure. Oh no, come on, fucking bounding. Here we go. This is the thing. She says, if there's anything out there I will want, I can't see what it says because of bounding. Thank you for the ad. Here's what she says. She says, they explain, I think we have to stop calling them aliens because alien is a derogatory term for anything. That's why I call them ETs. Yeah, it's a little tidbit. That's a little information I learned. So we got to make sure we're not offending aliens, like calling them aliens. Jesus Christ. The world is becoming a more open place. Slowly but surely, I think we're making progress. We're slowly getting there, but any progress is progress. So it's progressive. And they show her with her mouth open. Excellent. It's progressive to not call them aliens. Now it's the A word. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. Aliens are the A word now. Definitely my favorite lefty wackadoodle. Yeah, she's worth every penny of batshit crazy. She's great. Yeah, absolutely insane. Saw this. Me. Basically, she needs attention. Show Demi Lovato attention. She's not attractive enough for OnlyFans, so she's doing alien stuff. Yeah, overdose is probably after. Oh, she did OD. She's not in the right mental state, man. Nobody. There's not an alien in her head. There are aliens out there like, you know what, I could come to Earth, but they're just not progressive enough. They're not using my preferred pronouns. I'm leaving. They are going to have to rebrand the Alien franchise. It's not progressive enough. It's not progressive. All right, guys. I'm really sorry about rushing through these stories. Positive story, because we got to end on something positive. Just a really cool story I saw. It probably wouldn't have seen it come across my radar if it didn't first go viral on Facebook. But a firefighter is just reading to a little girl after a car accident. And that's pretty much it. It's just really the picture of it. Photo posted a fake book captures a touching moment where the firefighter took a book and read to a little girl after she survived a car crash in Billings, Montana. The Billings Fire Department responded to a two-vehicle accident on September 29th. Firefighters said there were no injuries reported, thank God, but both vehicles sustained major damage, making them undrivable. Oh, that's pretty dangerous. If the vehicles were totaled, it's a miracle nobody else was. Firefighter Ryan Benton noticed one of the passengers was a young girl. A 26-year-old took a book and started reading to her to take her mind off the traumatic event, and a bystander snapped a photo. That's pretty quick thinking to try to comfort the girl after a car crash. But a bystander took a photo, snapped it, and posted a fake book. Said the sweetest thing ever, this fireman reading books to a little girl after being into accident. First responders are amazing and hilariously underpaid for how important they are to society. Spokesperson for the Billings Fire Department said whenever a Billings firefighter responded to a fire and crash, they carry book bags containing stuffed animals and a book about firefighters, another book that helps children relate to a scary situation. And that was a good idea. That's a really good idea. And that's a really cool idea. And that's the idea we're going to have to end on. And I hate rushing, but 3:00 is a hard out for us on the Vigilante Williamson show. And thank you all for joining. Obviously, we had some competition with the Friday Night Tights, which has already been gone, but you guys have been here. We've been having a lot of really important and really tough conversations about a lot of things. So by 8 p.m., I appreciate you being here. Appreciate your super chat. Salute Cinch and Dildo. Salute you. Thank you for the stories. It was an honor to be here. It's an honor to have you, man. It really is. It's an honor to have you. And again, sorry that I had to rush to the end of that show. We could have talked all day, and I'd rather have. But thank you all, Thinker, a.k.a. Noble Iro, Fizz Chozo. Please check out Goofanoid if you haven't. See, some people have gone to support that. I appreciate it. Pope Chupacabras the Fourth, aka Wookiee Supremacy. Appreciate that. One Rough Girl who went super mod. And Sherry, I appreciate Sherry being in the chat as well. Saw you early and late. Also, my man The Wake Down, who's kind of a producer on the show now. He's helping me with the clips, and we will have more of that throughout the weekend, throughout the week. And APM, let's see anyone else. If I forgot you, please blame my head, not my heart. Obviously, Captain Trek was here earlier. Lots of people. Parrothead, I appreciate Parrothead showing up. I think that's it. David Serta, some other individuals. I appreciate you guys showing up. I appreciate it. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do so. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night and God bless. It's not good night. I always say good night, but we're during the day now. Got to get used to that. Good afternoon. God bless. Peace.
Some motherfuckers are always